We've come to expect grocery stores to be packed with shoppers looking to stock up on last-minute items before a major snowstorm, and today was no different. New York One's Ron Lee joins us tonight from Forest Hills in Queens with that part of our coverage. Hi, Ron.
Hey there, Dean. Well, right now, the snow is beginning to come down pretty hard. It is sticking to the ground. Yet while some shoppers rush to this Stop and Shop here in Queens to buy essential items for themselves, others were buying for family members or neighbors who were seniors.
Okay.
So what'd you get? You got bread, rotisserie chicken,
water, bread, cold cuts.
As last-minute shoppers picked up as many essential items as possible ahead of the big snowstorm, store shelves were quickly emptied out, whether you were in the fruit section or looking for meat.
They were selling out of produce, like fruit and vegetables, really very, very fast.
Shoppers like Lucy Colon of Rico Park aren't too worried about the potential for lots of snow. But what did concern her was the possibility of not having enough food to get through the next few days.
We got like greens for like salad, onions, potatoes, cereal. I got hummus, which I love.
Panic shopping ahead of a major storm is nothing new. However, Colon tells me she was surprised by the sheer number of empty shelves that she encountered at this Stop and Shop at Union Turnpike in Queens.
It was very busy. It was one of the busiest days I've seen, and we've been coming here forever.
Due to the pandemic, some shoppers like Ernie Yeager of Glendale were buying groceries to bring back to a loved one who is a senior.
Well, I'm shopping for somebody that's in their 90s right now, so I want to make sure they have enough food.
What did you get for them?
The essentials.
What's essential?
Bread, milk, eggs.
Yeager tells me he was shopping on behalf of his mother so that she can stay home and stay safe.
How's she been doing?
Old age.
And coronavirus is very scary and all that.
Oh, she hasn't been out of the house in a long time.
Yeager told me one item that was on his shopping list was chopped meat. And he says he was very relieved to purchase the last package of chopped meat that he saw on the shelf. We're in Queens. Ron Lee, New York One. Dean.
Okay, Ron, thank you.
And those conditions have added some extra challenges for essential workers who have been helping in the fight against COVID to get to work. Our Ron Lee is in Bushwick, Brooklyn with a check on that part of our story. Ron.
Hey there, Rochelle. Well, here in Bushwick, the snow is coming down at a very frustrating pace, especially for us. And just a short while ago, there was a gentleman across the street waiting to get inside that City MD. He actually had ski goggles on because he needed to protect his eyes. If you take a look right now, you can see there's really no wait for anyone to get in, but that was not the case earlier today. Take a look at this video that we shot earlier when there was a line of about 25 people waiting to get inside and to be seen. Now, most of those folks, we did a little survey, told us that they were here to get tested for COVID-19. And they, much like the healthcare workers who are involved in the fight against the coronavirus, now they all braved some very tough travel conditions in order to get here. Now, one doctor who we spoke to, he told us he had a very difficult drive getting to Brooklyn from Long Island, where he lives. Like, how was it getting to work today?
Quite stressful.
Stressful? But you know you have an essential job, right?
Yes, sir.
Look at all these people behind.
And we're going to take good care of them today.
Yeah, it was tough though, huh?
Yes.
How far did you have to come?
From Long Island.
From Long Island.
Yes.
So you took the train or you drove?
I drove.
Treacherous?
Very.
And today, of course, the city has postponed all vaccinations for COVID-19. However, testing continues to go on at sites, including the City MD that is just behind me now. I was able to speak to the first two people who were waiting in line, a married couple from Bushwick. They told me that they got here at 9:30 this morning, knowing that this City MD was opening much later than normal. It wasn't opening today till 11 a.m. They said the reason they were here is not for kicks. They say, unfortunately, there was a very sad family situation that requires that they travel by plane, and they needed to have a negative test result for COVID-19 in order to board that plane. They had to take that test within 72 hours. So they braved these tough conditions, and they were waiting outside getting snowed on just like we are right now. That's the latest from Bushwick and Brooklyn. Ron Lee, New York One. Rochelle, back to you.
All right, Ron, we wish them well. All right, we told you we have reporters fanned out all across the city, so we're going to go from Brooklyn to Queens.
1-800-GOT-JUNK for home or office. We make junk disappear.
A major storm brings more than a foot of snow across the city, with some areas seeing more than that. As part of the local state of emergency, all vehicle travel is restricted on city roads until 6 tomorrow morning. Only essential and emergency travel is being permitted. We have team coverage with our reporters across the boroughs. They've been tracking this story like no one else can, and we will certainly check in with them this hour. But first, we begin with the latest update from the Weather Center. Meteorologist John David has been working around the clock to track this storm for us. And John, this is pretty historic. The massive storm all but shut down the city today, but the pandemic, it still grinds on. Doctors, nurses, and others on the front lines are braving the snow and winds to get to hospitals and clinics and finding new patients waiting for them when they get there. New York One's Ron Lee reports from Brooklyn.
How was it getting to work today?
Quite stressful.
Stressful? But you know you have an essential job, right?
Yes, sir.
Look at all these people behind.
And we're going to take good care of them today.
As Dr. Brian Fonrick showed up for work at this City MD on Knickerbocker Avenue in Bushwick, his arrival was a welcome sight for Dahlia Sanchez and her husband Harry, who had been waiting in the snow for more than an hour to be first in line for a COVID-19 test.
How do you feel that City MD actually decided to open today? Are you feeling grateful?
Yes, we're grateful
My
because
situation right now, I'm grateful.
we were trying to get it done yesterday. We went to a few.
What Sanchez and the more than 24 people who were behind her in line may not have realized was just how challenging it was for many of these frontline workers to get to work to assist in the fight against the pandemic.
How far did you have to come?
From Long Island.
From Long Island.
Yes.
So you took the train or you drove?
I drove.
Treacherous?
Very.
Take the train? How'd you get here?
I drove.
You drove. What was it like, though?
Yeah, it's a blizzard.
Zara Grant, a scribe who fills out patient charts at the City MD that's just behind me, says staying at home did not cross her mind. While she feels a sense of responsibility as a frontline healthcare worker, she also has bills to pay.
I took the bus. I just had to walk 2 blocks, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Okay.
And there were 3 buses coming when I got it, so.
Due to the heavy snow, all locations for City MD across the city delayed their opening Monday by 3 hours. And all the city and state-run vaccination centers for COVID-19 canceled all appointments for Monday. They also were to be closed Tuesday. Governor Cuomo sought to reassure everyone who had an appointment that they will be rescheduled.
I know how hard it is to get an appointment. I know people will say, I had an appointment finally. Is it really going to get rescheduled? It's really going to get rescheduled in any state-run facility.
Here in Bushwick, Dahlia Sanchez tells me despite the snow, she and her husband are relieved that some sites were still open to get tested for COVID-19. Due to a family emergency in Puerto Rico, they need proof that they got tested for the virus within 72 hours prior to their departure.
We're flying. We have an emergency.
I'm an emergency.
It's just like, yeah. So,
If not, I will not be here.
right.
In Brooklyn, Ron Lee, New York One.
All right, Ron, great story about those dedicated workers.